Hey, what's up, everyone? You are listening to ATB Hammered, and I'm your host, Michael Bird. And you are listening to us from the ATB studios in Raleigh, North Carolina. Somehow we bribed this guest to drive all the way out here to the sticks tonight and join us to talk a little coronavirus. So tonight, Brandon, who I'm also joined by. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, not much.
All right, so now we've got Miss Elena Morgan over here, a biochemistry major. Wow.
That's not that impressive, I promise.
Well, I don't have a major in biochemistry,
Yep.
so, I mean, fuck. You got me. I mean, you're already more qualified than me and a lot of shit. And you're a science nerd, too, so I'm kind of anxious to learn, like, what kind of science nerd are you? Tell me, what makes you a science nerd?
It means that pretty much on a daily basis, I am reading everything and anything that I can.
Like, what kind of stuff?
Usually astrophysics, but I like medicine stuff. You know, I don't know. I'm all across the board.
Oh, so, okay.
Nice.
I just like science.
Just like science?
I like science.
So we're not reading romance novels or anything like that?
We are not reading romance novels. We're reading some nonfiction.
Educational.
Nonfiction, educational. There's nothing wrong with that. I could use more of that today. But I will tell you, I listened to a couple of YouTube videos today and read some articles on this coronavirus. We talked about this the other night when we met up for dinner, and you know, you were like, wow. You started talking about this stuff, and I was like, stop. We need to have a podcast on this.
Yeah.
And I think you seem well-informed on it. You seem educated on it. So I want to pick your brain about the coronavirus. So what do we know about it? What do we know about the coronavirus? Can you tell me what it is? Or
So the coronavirus, the term itself is just speaking to a certain classification of a virus. It presents just like the flu. You're going to have the same sort of symptoms. It's not really in and of itself anything to be concerned of. So there's flu strains and there's common cold strains that are coronavirus. So like it's not like a net new thing for us. This particular coronavirus, we believe jumped from an animal source to a human source, you know, in China. So that's why we don't have a lot of information about how to prepare for it in terms of vaccines. We don't have treatments for it because it is net new. The fact that like a virus can jump from an animal species to a human species is not uncommon. It happens all the time. But when it does happen, it takes us by surprise. And that's what's happened with this.
now let me ask you this, because I read an article today that says most of the initially infected were in a city called Wuhan in China.
Correct.
And it was in a wholesale market in the center of Wuhan. Now, rumor is it was started by people eating bat soup. So if you don't know, bats are like highly infected with viruses. They're like a virus sponge.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the beginning, the catalyst of this worldwide pandemic of the coronavirus was started by eating bat soup. Have you heard that, or is that true?
No,
or?
yeah, I definitely have heard that, and it's completely feasible that that's exactly what happened. That's not confirmed yet, but it is definitely like the market where they were, the outbreak in Wuhan, and that market had a lot of mammal sales. It wasn't just bats, so it's feasible that any number of other mammals were the possible host for the virus before.
You know, I did read also, and this doesn't have anything to do with the bats or anything, but did you know camels are highly infected animals?
I did
Camels?
not know that.
Camels, they carry so many diseases.
Did you know that camels originated from North America and not from the Middle East?
I did not know that.
All right,
That's going to blow
so
your mind. You can Google that fact.
I
Oh my
think I'm
God.
going to have to, because how in the hell did a camel get from North America to like Africa in the
It was
deserts
back
when it
when-
was Pangea?
Yeah,
Like the
it was back
ultimate.
when the continents were connected. They originated in North America, and camels originated in North America.
But
Probably Arizona. Or Nevada.
Camels lived in Arizona, folks.
I'm just
Like,
letting you know.
Millions of years ago. I
Like,
tell you.
you could do that. Like, put that on your trivia list.
Oh, that's
Wow.
a good one.
Yeah.
That's a real good
There's
one.
not a lot of people who know that.
It's so great.
All right. Well, you just blew my mind with that.
Yes.
A lot of people didn't know that the coronavirus is also a series of 7 strands of a virus. Like the coronavirus is an umbrella over 7 different.
Correct.
Yeah.
Coronavirus is a really generic term to describe.
Well, thank you, Siri, for just like,
Siri's about to drop some knowledge on us.
how did she
I
even?
think
I got
she's
the
replacing
volume
me.
off. You stupid ass. All right.
Smart house.
It's nothing special. It's been in our society for a long time. It's not anything that's new or to be afraid of. Like I said, like the reason that like this particular situation has been so like fraught or frightful is just because number one, it's spreading way faster than we would ever have anticipated, and we didn't have information about how it's being transmitted. And it's the mortality rate is higher for our elderly people,
Yeah.
like
so-
way higher than.
So you're saying they haven't really figured out how it gets transferred from person to person?
Yes and no. Like, you know,
Yeah.
they're saying like the same safety protocols that you have for the flu. So like wash your hands, don't cough, that sort of thing.
Well, isn't that like common sense stuff anyway? I mean,
Man,
they're
you
telling
think
us to do stuff we should have been doing from day one. You know, that your parents teach you when you're kids. So,
Yeah, but who listens to their parents?
look, so
True. Don't brush your teeth.
brush your teeth. If you don't, you're going to get coronavirus.
Yeah.
So am I going to one day wake up and go, brains? Like, the media is hyping this thing up like it's the next plague. Like, this is it right here. It's going to wipe out humanity.
No, the problem, well, it's not a problem. The difference with coronavirus compared to the flu is the rate of transmission right now.
Okay.
So the rate of transmission is high, and that can be for a few reasons. We don't really understand them yet. So the most probable reason is that there are a lot of people who get coronavirus and don't exhibit symptoms, and they're out in the population and they're spreading it.
Well, let me tell you something. There is,
That's crazy.
if you're on a cruise ship with one person with coronavirus, there is a 100% chance you're going to get infected, because I was reading today that a cruise ship called the Diamond Princess, 696 confirmed infections on that ship. I don't know how many people a cruise ship can hold. That probably sounds about like everybody.
That is really concerning, right? That it spreads so quickly. So you're talking about probably more than just surfaces that you're touching. Like you're talking about aerial transmission, everything. Like this is really contagious.
Wait, hold on. Wait,
Man,
go
that's
ahead.
super sensitive. Is that?
Are you saying that if I sit on a toilet, a public toilet, with somebody that has coronavirus, I can get coronavirus off a toilet seat?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you said like public, like touch.
First of all, why are
Unless-
you sitting on public toilet seats?
I was like, unless
Okay.
your skin is breached. In other words, if you have a sore
Or cut?
or cut and you sit on
mean-
the toilet
You
seat,
got a butt
Why would
sore.
you? I don't have a butt sore.
Toilet.
Why are you going to have a cut on your ass? What are you doing over there, Brandon?
just saying,
That's some
these are
freaky
the
shit,
parameters
man.
where it's possible.
Yes.
Well, look, first off, I do use public toilets every once in a while, but when I do, I use half a roll of toilet paper to clean the toilet off. So there's a technique to it. You take your hand, you wrap it up, then you do like this circle, all right? And then if they don't have those, whatever they're called, those shields, you know, then I take 2 plies and put on each side of the toilet to make me a perfect cushion.
You never get
Yeah.
2-ply in public toilets. You get 1-ply. 2-ply's only at home. If you don't know what
Well-
2-ply is, that means 2 layers of toilet people.
That means Charmin.
That means Charmin. Angel Soft.
Oh man, so many bad jokes I can throw in right here. Well, anyway,
So here's the thing. So the fact that we feel like we're like taken by surprise by this indicates that probably there are called super spreaders, like people
super spiders,
super spreaders.
spreaders. Oh,
Spreaders.
it's like, damn, how did Spider-Man get up in here?
No,
Shit.
no, spreaders. So there's a general rule, like, epidemiology is kind of like the science of disease and how it spreads and blah, blah, blah. But like there's a rule that says about 20% of people who are infected are accountable for 80% of the infection rate, which means that there are a subset of people who are infected who are more responsible for spreading a disease, right? And that has to do a lot with people who, like, good for you, you're like kind of more immune. Like you don't show the symptoms.
So he was actually talking about this earlier and saying that what did you say? Like 40 to 70% of the people in the population can get coronavirus, but it's only like 60 plus years old.
So in the next year, I read this. I don't know how true it is. It says 40 to 70% of the population of the planet will be infected by coronavirus. And like it has the most harm on people that are 60 and up, and probably younger kids too that come in effect.
No, that's what's really kind of unique about the coronavirus. Like literally, it's amazing how little impact is having on the younger population. We have very little data on even infection rates, and nobody's dying at the younger ages, which you would think babies would. I don't have a good sense of why that's not happening, because it's just a respiratory sort of infection. But like people 60 plus, like it's about 15% death rate, which is really, really high. 15% is high.
Well, I was reading that the mortality rate is less than 1%, a bit less than 1% if you get the coronavirus. And that's basically 60 and up. So why is the is this COVID-19, is this that strong, or is it just because we don't have any kind of medication to fight it? Because like the flu, you got, what are they, Z-Packs, or, all these stuff you can take?
No, with the flu, all you can take is Tamiflu, because you can't take.
Z-Pac's not even.
It's an antibacterial. You can't take that for a virus. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But what is very, very significant is the fact that kids are not being affected for whatever reason. That's something that I think science and data is going to come out as to why that is. But the fact that older people, their death rate is far higher than the flu. And that's why it is concerning. It really is concerning. Like if you're in a, what do you call those old people homes? The
rest home.
Retirement home, rest home.
Yeah, any if you're any sort of like
hospice,
anything,
houses that smell like piss.
But if you're in any situation where like you're in close quarters with people who are 60 plus, you're in a high risk situation there.
Now, do you think it's like an immune system situation, or is it just something that old people might?
So coronavirus presents like pneumonia.
Okay.
It's a respiratory disease. And of course, people who are already compromised are going to be at the most risk. I don't know why it's more, has a higher death rate than flu. Like flu is obviously a very big killer. Like flu has a lower death rate than coronavirus. It just affects more people, so it actually kills more people. But in theory, if coronavirus spreads to the amount of population that flu is affected, then you would see a really high death rate.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So now what are some like maybe some, I know you said it's like compared to the flu. I mean, if you haven't had the flu, pray that you never get it. But like what are some like basic signs and symptoms? Like, I mean, everyone's freaking out now. And so like some people, they might think like I'm old school. Like I don't go to the doctor. I take some Tylenol, some BC powder, drink a lot of water, and I go to bed.
Yeah.
And wait till I feel good.
I don't go.
But now, if one day I could, if it's something serious, what are some signs and symptoms that someone probably definitely should go to the doctor.
You would not have any symptoms that are different from a cold or flu. So really, at this point,
So that's why it's so scary.
just knowing that that coronavirus is in our area. So if you have flu-like symptoms, you're going to want to tell your doctor. You should tell your doctor before you go into the office, so that they can make precautions in case you do have coronavirus, so that you don't like spread it to other people. And there's really no reason to have fear over a flu virus. Like the survival rates are the same for young people, middle-aged people, anybody really under 60. Like it's not going to kill you. You just have to prepare the same way that you would for the flu. But if you know that you have it, then obviously don't go to work, don't go to school, don't send your kids to school. Keep them home.
So another thing I want to tackle, adding on to that kind of question. So there's actually another pandemic that's recently occurring. I have friends and family that are in like the dental field or the medical field, and they're all stressing like stop buying masks because there's a shortage of masks. So, I mean, do people actually need masks, or can you just like
So-
Well,
wash
that's
your
a good
hands?
question,
That's
Brandon.
a perfect thing to bring up. Actually, it is discouraged for people to wear masks for two reasons. Masks are very useful if you have symptoms. You wear a mask to prevent from spreading the disease to other people. But if you don't have symptoms, you should not be wearing a mask. You should not be wearing a mask primarily because, number one, yes, you're creating a shortage. And number two, improper use of a mask can actually make you more susceptible to getting infected.
So I just found this online. It says, no, you should not be wearing a mask to prevent getting coronavirus.
Prevent. Right?
Yeah,
Only if you
to
have
help
it.
prevent. Yeah, they are very concerned that people wearing masks
done.
will actually be at more risk because they may be complacent and not take much more effective measures such as washing their hands.
Washing your hands is the biggest thing you can do. And there's a big shortage on hand sanitizer, but washing your hands for 20 seconds is far more effective than hand sanitizer.
So I actually heard a myth on hand sanitizer. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know what TV show article, it could be fake, but I heard that hand sanitizer is only productive and it works while it's still wet, and once it dries, it loses its purpose. Is that true or false?
I can't speak
Well,
to that. I
hand
don't know.
sanitizer sounds a lot more like semen.
Oh my god!
Wait.
Oh no! I don't think you can freeze it.
If the hand sanitizer,
Oh,
And it'd still be good later.
carry on.
if the hand sanitizer is dry, I'm sure that you can't spread it, so it has no
Yeah.
impact.
Myth busted.
Myth busted.
Wow, so you're talking about hand sanitizer. We were looking on Amazon today at work, and
Yeah.
they are price gouging the hell out of hand sanitizer on Amazon.
Yeah. I saw that they were trying to put there's an article this morning about Tito's being used in place of hand sanitizer.
Are they just taking shots at Tito's?
I know.
Be like, yeah, I'm just gonna get drunk. I'm not gonna get any viruses, or at least I'm not
Yeah.
gonna feel it.
They're trying to put in some aloe. Like, I don't know. Like, you should use the cheap
What the heck?
alcohol,
Sunburn.
right? Like, not name brand alcohol, but
So I'll be licking my hands the whole time.
But
There's
the-
Tito's in it.
disclaimer is that it has to be 60% alcohol to actually disinfect. So Tito's is about 40%. Just FYI.
That's very disappointing to know that. Thanks for breaking that to me.
We just lost our Tito's sponsorship. Sorry, dang.
Is it true that these coronaviruses, these strands of 7 different viruses, go dormant during the warm weather season, like around April? They're sensitive to heat. So when summer comes around, these viruses, they get destroyed.
Yeah, that seems to be the pattern. Obviously, you have experience with feeling cold symptoms and flu symptoms primarily in the winter season, but there are the off cases where you still feel them in the summer. So no, it's not like completely true, but yeah.
Wait, so I got a freaking fact. So colds are colds because it's cold outside during the winter.
Mm.
Wait, hold on. I got something for that. All right, continue.
The alrighty then.
Colds are more likely in the cold.
Alrighty. And also a fun fact, you do not get colds from wet hair in the cold.
That is
Correct.
absolutely true.
Yes.
Wait,
I thought
what?
so.
Yeah.
You know how your parents growing up, like, don't go outside with a wet head, you'll catch a cold.
Yeah, that
It's
is not true. You can go out with cold hair and not get a cold.
Yes.
And-
So, like, what's the case study? Has there been a case study? Like, do we know this for a fact?
Yeah.
Have you been outside with wet hair and not got a cold?
Absolutely. Urban legend about having cold hair. Everybody says it, right? What happens is people say you have cold hair or you have wet hair and then like your heat escapes through your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason that makes you more weak and more susceptible to a cold. It's not true.
Boo.
I'm still stuck on what it's called when you have a start point in a science experiment.
Hypotheses.
It's a
No,
hypothesis.
that's an educated guess.
A question?
No, you have
First step's question.
uh,
You got experiment, result.
when you do an experiment, you have a start point, something you base your results off of your other
Oh,
experiments.
a control.
A control, yes.
Yes, a
That's
control.
it.
So
You have like a control.
Guys, just settle down. Like you have a
Oh,
hypothesis.
jeez. But a hypothesis is an educated guess
Correct.
on
But
something
it's the idea that you're building your whole experiment on. You have controls, which are the things that you hold steady, and then you have your variables, which you're testing.
He's thinking about the control there.
But yeah,
That's what he's
so like
talking
the control is
the control is not the question.
a control is a full glass of wine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm putting the full glass of wine down, and then I'm giving you a glass of wine, and then you're drinking from that glass.
I am.
That is the experiment. So you compare the experiment to the control. It makes no sense what I'm describing now, but
What were you talking about?
This has
Wait.
nothing
Kinda-
to do with coronavirus.
And did we already cover why it's called coronavirus?
Oh, well,
Why
I
did
know
you
the
confuse
answer to this
Go ahead. Tell
because
me.
I have it right in front of me.
All right, go.
So under a microscope,
Microscope.
Microscope.
Alrighty
Alrighty then.
Under close inspection. Go ahead.
so
Alrighty then.
under a microscope,
Uh-huh.
coronaviruses appear with like a crown shape. Okay, so a coronavirus got its name from the Latin word corona, which means crown or halo. Thank you. I know minds are blown out there.
Circle. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But it has no relevance to anything else.
Poor.
Yeah, it's just a cool name. So seriously, I was under the impression that Land Shark was trying to battle Corona, and this was all they're doing. But Land Shark sucks too. I mean, I don't drink beer anymore, but Land Shark, it never like won me over. I don't know.
Shark.
And you
So-
know that, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like in the end, what are we supposed to do about coronavirus, right?
I don't know.
Well, this is
What's the takeaway?
so. This is what I think. You know, I saw a list earlier today, and for the past 20 years, I honestly didn't notice, but every single year for the past 20 years, there's been a world-ending type of virus, like the H1N1, the Zika virus, the swine flu, which I think is H1N1,
the bird flu.
the
The
bird
bird flu is way more contagious than coronavirus, by the way.
Yeah,
You know what
And
all
so
these
now
have in
it's-
common?
What?
They're all originated from animals.
Yeah, pigs,
They're-
bats.
They're what is that?
I dare you to drop it, Mike.
I can drop the hammer. I mean, just hold on. I
It's
got
like
it.
a zoogenesis, like when you or xenogenesis.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's cool.
All right.
Now,
I'm sorry. Back
so
on point.
My biggest question, which I don't think anyone else has thought outside this box, but if So if all of these type of flus, diseases, viruses are from animals, how do they get to humans? Is it through like contact with animals or like through eating, the animals?
Absolutely. Like the point of transmission can be something like eating, for sure, ingestion.
Like uncooked or even if it's cooked?
It would have to be uncooked. Yeah.
Ugh, I'm good then.
But in that market,
Wait. I'm sorry to interject here,
yeah,
but bat soup would be cooked, right?
I don't know.
Not guano.
I don't know. I can't.
Isn't guano like bat poo?
Yeah.
Who is eating bat poo?
I can't
Africans.
speak to.
I mean, I've seen some Chinese videos where they eat some rancid shit,
Have you
but
never
I've never seen bat poo being
You were
consumed.
really focused on the bat.
Have you never seen Ace Ventura When Nature Calls?
I mean, I don't.
Look,
Yes.
I literally don't want to even consider somebody eating a bat. Like that's not something that I want to see.
It's not even the bad. It's just poo.
But
Ugh.
Right, go ahead.
it doesn't have to be a bat.
You know
I
what,
know.
Brandon? We need to shut up. We're totally
I know.
throwing off Elena here.
I know.
All I'm saying is you can eat the animal, but it can also be like a flea that transmits it between the animal and you. And this Wuhan market really dealt in a lot of mammals, like rabbits and
And I don't know why I just thought about this,
Puppies
but you said ant and brought me to insects, and I immediately thought mosquito.
yeah,
And I feel like
mosquitoes are a
mosquitoes-
good transmitter. Yeah, for
Aren't
sure.
they like one of the deadliest insects in the world?
Mosquitoes aren't deadly, but they transmit shit that's deadly.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
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 Yeah, mosquitoes and fleas are definitely our biggest, they cross species the most. So for some reason, whatever happened with this particular virus jumped from an animal to us, just like HIV jumped from what we think is an ape to a human.
And we're not even going to start talking about how
Not
we think
even
that got
touch that
started.
subject. Oh,
But-
Lord.
Like, how did that originate? And some hunters in the woods, like, yeah, that ape looks sexy as hell.
Oh man.
Come here, girl.
Perhaps, but it could be the same thing. Let's just go with the flea or some other.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're the one that brought up the HIV and the apes. Excuse me for being a creep.
That's a really good fun fact. That's a good fun fact.
I'm just saying, it's not the first time that a disease has crossed species.
Well, I'm looking at these numbers right now, and coronavirus cases as of today, March the 6th, 2020. The United States only has 232 confirmed cases
Hold on.
and 14 reported deaths. Now, China's mainland, get a grip on this, 80,573 confirmed cases. Brandon, how many deaths do you think are in China right now? Just off the top of your head, off of 80,000 confirmed cases.
I mean, just thinking of the sheer population of China is being like, what is like a billion almost? I'm gonna say like 500,000. Wait, you mean
wait.
deaths or
wait. First off, there was
contamination?
confirmed
He's way
cases. There was
Yeah.
confirmed cases of 80,000,
Oh.
and somehow 500,000 of the 80,000 died.
Oh, I'll say at least half. I'll say, well, you said 80,000?
It was 80,000.
I
I
Yeah,
would say
go
1,000.
30,000.
no, 3,042 deaths.
So
That's
and-
still quadruple, even more than any other deaths in the world.
and I don't know if they have statistics, but I'm sure that most of them are older people.
I was gonna say, I
Yeah,
wonder what the
sure.
percentage is of 60 plus.
Yeah, no, 60
that in-
plus
is that in there?
is all of them.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that majority of the population of China is probably older people because you can't have too many younger people there because never mind.
So
It's a topic for a whole different day.
But all the vast majority, 80% of the deaths from coronavirus are from China. They're not from worldwide infections.
Okay.
That's 100%.
So I got today's Q-tip, which is your today's quick tip. I just want everyone to know that bubble wrapper that you are popping for fun because it sounds awesome and it feels great and it's fun to play with and it sounds like a gun, that air is from China. Keep that in mind.
So don't pop your bubble wrap, people.
Do not pop bubble wrap.
That air is infectious. That air gets in there from somewhere. How in
Don't
the
take
hell
the
do they
risk.
make bubble wrap anyway? How do they get them airtight little freaking pockets of air?
I just want to say I love
filled
Brandon.
with coronavirus. They fill it with viruses and that's how it gets to America.
No,
Along with stuffed animals.
Oh, we just solved the
you said it
controversy.
wrong.
What did I say wrong?
America.
America.
No, it's America.
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 I did say it wrong. No A. There's no A in America.
Yeah.
Guys.
All right. So, like, who do y'all think? Okay, Hong Kong. All right. So, how many confirmed cases and how many deaths do you think are in Hong Kong right now? As of today.
Oh, how many people are in Hong Kong? I feel like there's a lot of people in Hong Kong. I'm going to say,
Like
since the number you just said was a little low in China, I'm going to go Hong Kong.
a little low.
For China, 80,000, dude, they have like 500 million people. I mean, it's in masses.
Okay, as of today.
As of today. These stats
this
are today.
morning,
Yes.
when I look shit up, I'm allowed to say shit?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, you can't say it and then ask.
Does this woman use profanity at all in her private life?
I honestly say no because she says it feels so bad about it. It's funny. I like it.
But it's spread to 81 countries, 97,850 confirmed infections, 3,300 deaths.
300,000 confirmed infections worldwide?
97,850 infections.
Oh, confirmed. Okay.
3,300 deaths.
Well, hold on. No. I have a better number. Because I Googled this about 2 hours ago, and it said March the 6th, 2020, as of like 3:57 p.m.
Okay, he's better than me.
100,369 confirmed cases and 3,400 and how many deaths?
I had 3,300.
3,403 confirmed deaths.
So when
my stats are better than yours.
Okay, like I did mine like this morning. But like the majority of those were in China. So for me, 3,042 of those deaths were in China. So
All right. So like the reason why we're having this show right now is because there are confirmed cases in Wake County. There are confirmed cases in Durham. So what do we need to do to keep ourselves safe? And if we do become infected, what steps do we need to take to keep our family and our friends safe?
We've already answered these questions.
yeah, well,
No, because I cut
to
them
a
out
certain
already.
extent, but actually,
Okay.
if you're in a at-risk population, like if you are 60 plus, your best interest is into stocking up on supplies so that you're not going out to general population. Like get 3 weeks to a month worth of supplies. It means that you don't have to go outside of your home.
And also, you mentioned something like, personally, if you had someone in like an old rest home or a hospice or something like that, maybe temporarily get them out of there.
Yeah, I think that any situation where people are in homes, they're in close contact and they're more at risk to transmitting disease. So if you have the opportunity to take your person out of that situation and bring them home, that would reduce their risk. They are at the highest risk. So 15% fatality rate for this disease is not something to take flippantly. Like you have to take it seriously.
Yes.
Well, tell me why you go to Walmart, all the Purell is off the shelf. All the toilet paper's gone.
The same reason.
What the hell is going on?
I don't understand the toilet paper thing.
What's over the toilet paper?
It's the same reason,
What's the
when
reason?
there's
I don't know what the toilet paper thing is about.
Me neither.
Well,
We have a lot of teepees going on. But it's the same thing, when a hurricane comes through and people just raid the bread and milk. It's like, come on, dude. Get water.
man, I
And
can't
water.
wait. I can't wait until like the tornado comes or the hurricane comes because I love my bread and milk sandwiches. I love them.
Why do you
They're
need
the
a
best.
tornado or hurricane?
I don't get it. I don't.
See that on a sunny day.
I don't get the toilet paper thing. I'm like,
I
why
don't-
are people going crazy over toilet paper?
I don't get the I get the water. I get the cases of water, okay, in case you're scared your water goes out. But what is up with the bread and the milk? Okay? I don't understand that. Why do people need bread so bad? Why do we need milk so bad when there's a storm coming? I mean, I just don't I don't fucking get it.
I don't get it either. But
Yeah, we all don't get it. We're all clueless.
I'm not a doomsday kind of person. But in this case, if you want to stay out of the general population, like maybe those people got it right and I got it wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
And just to let everyone know, do not go on Amazon buying a crazy amount of money with these sanitizers and stuff. Just hand soap. Hand soap and warm water.
Hand soap, yeah.
hand
water.
soap. Okay.
Do not use cold water.
Hand soap.
Warm water.
Warm water.
Maybe even
Hand.
cold water. It doesn't matter.
It's
Like,
not.
Just
No one likes a cold hand wash.
Just wash your hands.
No one likes a cold
It's all
hand
good.
wash.
All right, let me see if I've got any more notes to go over here with the coronavirus.
Oh, a little few things that I have heard from my friends in the hospitals is it's interesting. Like Duke and probably maybe even Chapel Hill will be close to follow. Like they're not allowing children under the age of 12 to enter the hospitals anymore.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why?
For the
Because
reason-
of fear of infection.
Fear
I'm
of
assuming.
infection, yeah.
So wait, hold on. That reminds me. We were talking during the break, and you mentioned Typhoid Mary. What were you talking about?
Typhoid Mary is an example of a super spreader. Like I said, she was responsible, like historically, for spreading typhoid fever because she worked in a meat market. She was like a central point for a lot of people, and she didn't exhibit symptoms. And so one person, this Typhoid Mary, was responsible for hundreds of people getting infected.
Wow, Typhoid Mary sounds like a dick.
Yeah.
What did she do at this meat market? I'm curious. And was this a meat market of actual meat?
Yeah, it
Like-
was a meat market. So like she was actually
like-
touching.
What?
She was.
Was it actual meat? What?
I mean, when you say meat market in 2020, you
Yeah,
think about.
Oh no! Oh no!
Hey,
So she was spreading
I'm
stuff right in the meat
blushing.
market. Yes.
Yeah, like these
Oh, my
guys.
God.
Like, yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
red.
wink, wink.
Oh, I wasn't even going there, and then you brought it there.
Oh, I'm going there. Yes.
Anyway.
I wasn't going there, guys. But
And that's why I'm here. All right. So, hey, you know what? I think we've covered it all with the coronavirus. I want to thank Elena and Brandon for joining us on this episode of Hammered. I hope you've all enjoyed sitting here and listening to us gallivant about the coronavirus. Of course, take the proper precautions. If you think you are infected, it's going to feel like a regular cold, maybe some flu symptoms. So go get checked out. And if you do become infected, don't worry. You're not going to get hungry for brains or anything like that.
Stay home.
Masks
Stay home.
for
home.
only infected. Masks are
Stay
only
home.
Stay home and listen to ATB Hammered. That's what you need to do.
Yes.
And also check out the ATB Idol shows we have on the YouTube channel. And that's all we have. Elena, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I had so much fun.
Brandon, always a pleasure. We'll see you next time.
Yes.
All right, this is Mike, and we are signing out. By the way, check out the events tab. Peace.